Ever wonder why we often choose to blend in rather than stand out? Our brains are wired in fascinating ways, and one such aspect is the intriguing concept of conformity. This psychological principle heavily influences our behavior and choices, shaping our daily lives in ways we may not even realize. Conformity is the tendency to align our attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors with those around us. It's a powerful social force that can lead us to adopt trends, change our opinions, and even modify our values. Sometimes conformity serves us well. It can foster social harmony and promote shared values, creating a sense of belonging. However, there's a darker side to this phenomenon. Conformity can stifle individuality, discourage creativity, and perpetuate harmful norms. It can make us lose our unique voice in the hum of the collective chorus. So why do we conform? Is it fear, comfort, or something more complex? Let's delve deeper. Imagine you're in a room with 7 other people, all insisting that the sky is green. Would you stand by your truth, or would you start questioning your own eyes? Enter Solomon Asch and his ingenious conformity experiments in the 1950s. Asch gathered groups of 8 participants. The twist? 7 of these individuals were actually actors, or confederates as they were known in the study. The real subject was the 8th person, and the objective was to see if this person would conform to the group's incorrect responses. The task was simple: match a reference line's length with one of 3 lines on another card. The correct answer was obvious. Yet, as the confederates began to unanimously choose an incorrect line, the real participant faced a dilemma: stick to their guns and risk standing out, or blend in with the group, even if it meant going against their better judgment. Astonishingly, about 1/3 of the subjects conformed with the group's incorrect answers at least once, even though they knew the group was wrong. The power of group influence was palpable. The results were a striking testament to how our desire to fit in can override our own perceptions and knowledge. Asch's experiments were not without criticism. Some argued that the era, the 1950s, was a time of high conformity, and the results might not hold true today. Others pointed out that the cultural context could have influenced the results, as certain cultures value conformity more than others. Yet, the Asch conformity experiments have undeniably left an indelible mark on our understanding of social psychology. They've revealed the strength of social pressure and conformity, and how these forces can nudge us to abandon our own truths. So the next time you find yourself in a room with 7 others insisting the sky is green, remember Asch's experiments. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes, standing up for your own perception might be the toughest, but the most necessary thing to do. It seems our need to fit in can sometimes override even our own perceptions. But what happens when conformity leads us to ignore a person in need? This question brings us to the bystander effect, a startling example of conformity in action. The bystander effect is a social psychological phenomenon where individuals are less likely to offer help to a victim when there are other people present. It's a classic case of diffusion of responsibility, where each person assumes that someone else will step up. Our story takes us back to the early morning hours of March 13, 1964, in New York City. A young woman named Kitty Genovese was brutally attacked. As she cried out for help, 38 of her neighbors reportedly heard her pleas, but not a single person intervened. This tragic event sparked outrage and disbelief across the nation, leading social psychologists Bibb Latané and John Darley to investigate this seemingly heartless response. Their research led to the discovery of the bystander effect. They found that the more people present in a crisis, the less likely any one individual is to take action. It's as though we're all waiting for someone else to make the first move. In essence, our fear of standing out, of being the one to break from the crowd, can sometimes prevent us from taking action even when someone's life is at stake. It's a sobering thought, isn't it? We like to think that we'd jump in to help if we saw someone in trouble. But the bystander effect shows that our desire to conform, to blend in with the group, can sometimes override our basic human instinct to help others. So, the next time you find yourself in a situation where assistance is needed, remember Kitty Genovese. Remember that you have the power to break free from the invisible chains of conformity. Don't wait for someone else to step up, be the one to make a difference. Clearly, our desire to conform can have serious consequences. But remember, we also have the power to choose differently, to choose compassion over conformity, to choose action over inaction, and in doing so, we can make a real difference in the world. But it's not all doom and gloom. there are times when standing out can make all the difference. History is laden with instances where the power of individuality has sparked significant positive change. Take Rosa Parks, for example. Her refusal to conform to unfair segregation laws on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama, ignited the civil rights movement, influencing a seismic shift in societal norms. Then there's Mahatma Gandhi, an epitome of individuality. His nonviolent resistance against British rule in India not only led to India's independence but also inspired civil rights movements across the globe. His philosophy of nonviolence, based on profound individual beliefs, is still quoted and followed today. Such individuals dared to be different, to stand out against the tide of conformity. They questioned the status quo, and their courage ignited changes that have shaped our world. It's through such acts of nonconformity that societies evolve and progress. Their stories remind us of the power and importance of individuality. So, what have we learned about the tug-of-war between conformity and individuality? We've delved into the paradox of conformity, and how societal norms and expectations often pressure us into blending in with the crowd. We've studied the Asch conformity experiments, showing the power of group influence. We've also explored the bystander effect, demonstrating how we often rely on others to take action, especially in uncertain situations. But we didn't stop there. We also celebrated the power of individuality, highlighting the fact that our unique perspectives and actions can lead to positive change. It's clear that while conformity has its place, so does individuality. The key is finding a balance. The next time you find yourself conforming, ask yourself, is it because you agree, or is it because you fear standing out? And remember, sometimes standing out can make all the difference. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to Brain Secrets for more intriguing insights into the human mind.